Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Are you your brother's keeper? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. If you watch The Factor, often you know we believe that many of the social problems in America are the direct result of the collapsing family unit in some precincts. African Americans, for example, have a huge problem in that area, with 72% of black babies now born out of wedlock. For white Americans, the number is 29%. Some disturbing facts. 48% of American children in single female households live in poverty, as opposed to 11% in married families. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. And boys without fathers present are twice as likely to become gang members than boys in traditional situations. The root of poverty, crime, and despair in America is the collapse of the traditional family. On Super Bowl Sunday, I asked President Obama about this. 72% of babies in African American community are born out of wedlock now. Why isn't there a campaign by you and the First Lady to address that problem very explicitly?
Yeah. Actually, Bill, we address it explicitly all the time. I'll send you at least 10 speeches I've made since I've been president, talking about the importance of young people, delaying gratification, talking about the importance of, when it comes to child rearing, paying child support, spending time with your kids, reading with them. So whether it's getting publicity or not is a whole different question.
But now it will get publicity, because tomorrow at the White House, the president will announce a huge initiative called My Brother's Keeper. Essentially, it will target young black males and try to give them some hope. Now, I will be at the White House tomorrow to cover this for you, and we will get specifics. On a general basis, it is long past time for America to join together and help the kids. Put yourself in their position. Millions of children are born into chaotic homes where their parents are irresponsible or absent. How can kids like that compete against children from stable homes? The answer is they can't. Now, the government's somewhat limited in what it can do, but it certainly can make it an issue. Having children out of wedlock is not good. Bringing children into the world when you can't support them is stupid and cruel. This message should be drummed into every American. It should be done in school, public school, private school. It should be done in the media, and it should be done by the president. Many Americans object to making judgments about behavior. That attitude is leading to disaster. We need to begin confronting this terrible problem. One final statistic: 56% of all Americans in prison grew up in a single-parent home. That's the memo. Now for the top story night reaction, joining us from Atlanta, Ron Clark, middle school teacher who runs a school for low-income kids today. And from Virginia Beach, Dr. Adolph Brown, teacher and motivational speaker. Dr. Brown, begin with you. When you were teaching middle school, you saw lots of kids at risk in the situation I just described. But I don't know what the government can do. I want the president to get involved. I told him he should, and publicize it. But what can the government do directly?
Well, I wouldn't have advised the government to get involved, because at this time, Bill, we need more parent involvement and less government involvement. But since this initiative has been rolled out, it's important that there be some type of contract with parents, because it starts at home. Either the parents give children time or the system will. So it has to start at home, where parents and children are encouraged to see opportunities in America.
Doctor, you're talking in theoretical. You're in fantasy land. With all due respect, because you do good work. You are. You're living in Peter Panville. All right, that's where you are.
Bill,
look.
Bill,
Hold on, hear me out, doctor. You got a drug-addicted mother or father, okay? You're not going to get through to them. They're not going to listen to you. You got a father who's not there. Kids don't even know who he is. He's gone. Another state.
Gotcha.
All right? That's not going to happen. So I got to deal with reality here. The parents aren't going to be reasonable. They don't give a hoot. What can the government do then?
Well, Bill, I'm that child. I came from a single-parent mother. My brother was murdered. I made it. and others like me have made it. So there's something called resiliency. There's something called
To some
personal
people,
responsibility.
some people
Exactly.
like you had it. You had it. But I want to know, and let me think about it for a minute. Let me go to you, Mr. Clark, because you're in the fray right now. What can the federal colossus do for kids like Dr. Brown when he was smaller? What can they do?
Well, I'm excited, first of all, that they're bringing attention to it because this is my life's work. And to have the government step in and say, we have to do something, we have to get involved, and we're going to provide mentors and programs for these students, I think it's awesome. And I think it's especially great. They said they're going to see what we're already doing around the country. That's wonderful because we found a 100-year-old factory in downtown Atlanta. We filled it with the best teachers, the best staff. Our staff members, they are our mentors. And what we've done with these kids, it's been miraculous.
Where'd you get the money to do all that? Where'd you get the money to pay the teachers and all that? Where'd it come from?
It took 3 years of getting donations. We asked people to give us toilets, carpets. We did it ourselves. We're just public school teachers that built this school
now
from
it'll be
scratch.
easier because corporate America is going to ally with this campaign. Now, here's my thing, Dr. Brown, getting back to you. I want the President of the United States, and I told him, and the First Lady, all right, the vegetable garden is good, okay? Don't drink the soda, that's okay. I mean, I don't oppose that. But they should be in your face. They should be in your face saying, you know what? When you're 15, don't have sex. Don't have babies. This is crushing not only you, but the child. Don't do it. You know, if they would start, then the cowardly media, who don't want to make any judge, oh, we can't judge, then they'd pick up the theme every day. Don't do it. You say.
Well, Bill, I travel the world talking to students all levels. And before I will even accept an engagement to speak to students, I require the schools to ensure that the parents will be in attendance for an evening event. It puts everyone on the same page. Parents have to be there. Guardians have to be there. It does not work. It's not sustainable if you don't have them. What Ron Clark does is wonderful, and I know his work. But at the end of the day, those children go home. And that's every teacher's gripe, is that we do what we do during the day. At the end of the day, they go home. Home needs to understand that there are opportunities in America. They exist through education. And, Bill, I'm not saying that public education is perfect by any means, but it's a start.
All right, yeah, but again, when they go back to the home and the parents passed out on the couch because they just consumed, a half-liter of gin, and then a kid's staring at them and can't even get a nutritious meal, the government can't kick in doors. You see, this is the problem.
Exactly.
But
That's
the
true.
pressure, you can put pressure on these derelict,
Yes, you can.
awful parents, and the pressure
Yes, you
has to
can.
come from the power structure. That means the
Yes.
president. And that means the media. That's where the pressure has to come. Cosby did that. Cosby did it
Yes.
in a reverse way by showing, hey,
Yes.
here's how it should be. All right, that's what he did, and it worked to some extent. But now we have a black president who understands the problem, and I'm going to see tomorrow with my own eyes. I mean, they invited me to go, and I'm going to stand there and I'm going to watch and I'm going to listen to see if this is all hollow or it's going to do something. Now, Mr. Clark, the problem is legislating morality to bad parents. Have you thought about that problem?
Yeah, I think that's really difficult to get that parent up off that couch. And I don't care what he says on TV. If that parent's drunk, it ain't even going to hear it in the first place. But if what you're doing is you're putting mentors and good people in the lives of these kids. I've worked with a lot of kids in Harlem and North Carolina and here in Atlanta who the dad was on the couch drunk and the mom wasn't present or vice versa. But if you can be a good mentor and be a good influence to that kid, you can show that kid what he could be or what he could become.
Okay, that's a good point.
Really
I did Big Brothers, Big Sisters, okay, and I know that when you have bad parents, if there is somebody else that the kid can go to, all right, and that's an excellent point. And we support here on The Factor the Best Friends in Washington, D.C., which does exactly that. That can have a difference. Gentlemen, you both do very fine work, and we're pleased to talk to you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
you, sir.
And we will have Valerie Jarrett on, President's top advisor tomorrow on The Factor, talk about this. We have